What's up, everybody? Today we're talking steak. We got the pellet grill, we got the gas grill, we got a 30-day dry-aged boneless New York strip. It's prime, it's delicious. I'll show you which one's better. Today on the patio, we're cooking steak. Not only are we going to cook steak, we're going to have a little bit of a steak battle. So I'm going to cook the steak on the Yoder pellet grill and the Lynx natural gas grill. Very common question, which one's the right one for me? You know, everyone's kind of different, but what I'm going to do is I've actually never tried them side by side, so I'm going to try to give you some of my honest feedback and help you make a decision for yourself. So, as I always say, no matter what you do, start with good quality meat. This guy's a 30-day dry-aged prime New York strip boneless. It's from a place called La Frutia out of New Jersey. One of my go-to places. They typically have 30-day, 58-day, 70-day dry-aged, depending on the cut of meat. And you know, it's 2020 meats. There's shortages and things like that going on. So I haven't really seen any of their 70-day recently, but you know, 30 days is great. So that's what we're using. This is a good 2 inches thick, probably in the neighborhood of 21 ounces, 22 ounces. I didn't weigh it. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a reverse sear. We're gonna season this guy up, then we're gonna sear him up and see how we make out. So first I'm gonna put a little bit of high temp oil on here because I am gonna sear it later on. This is avocado oil. It's actually an organic blend I get from Chosen Foods. I like it. I don't like avocados. So when I first heard about this stuff, I was like, yeah, ain't gonna try that stuff. But honestly, it has like no flavor. I just use it because it is higher temperature and we're gonna do a sear at the end. So I wanna make sure I'm not tasting burnt oil. So we're gonna go really straightforward here. We're gonna go salt, pepper. But yeah, so this is Diamond kosher salt. Any thick grind kosher salt, you can use that. This is fresh ground pepper. And again, you want to get all the sides here. And my goal here is that I'm using the exact same steak, so I'm just going to cut it in half. So I'm trying to keep it pretty basic so I can let the meat do the talking. All right. Now the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this stuff on it. This is a Worcestershire powder, and I don't know how I came across this. I was on Amazon. I think actually I was looking at different kinds of salt recently, and I saw Worcestershire powder, and I was like, sounds a little weird. And then I read in the comments, someone was like, I didn't know I needed this until I tried it. So that's the only little thing I'm going to try differently on it. And of course, there's a little bit of a breeze, and this powder is really, really fine. I have no idea how much to use, to be honest, but I'm going to sprinkle some on. I usually put Worcestershire sauce on my steaks as I eat it, so I figured this can't be anything wrong with this. But I mean, the texture is like, I mean, it's like feels smaller than sand, just to give you an idea. All right, got a good coating of that. Really, the goal here is just to cut this in half and try to season equally both pieces. This is not going to be scientific, so don't expect a whole bunch of super accuracy or anything like that. But I'm just going to cut this in half. And because we did that, I think we'll season this inside. All right, so the goal here is the Yoder set at 300 degrees. This guy's just a hair over 300 degrees. It's been going for a little while. They're both heat soaked, trying to keep it even. I just have the outside burners on low and one other burner on low. So we can try and keep the way the heat's hitting the meat very similar. Now, just for clarification purposes, this Yoder has a heat diffuser door in there that I can remove so I can get direct contact on the grill grates. I'm actually using grill grates in this so I can get a good sear on them. I've had other pellet grills and tried several things, and in my opinion, if you don't have something like this with a Yoder, you can't cook a good steak. You can't do it. You're not going to get a sear, can't do good burgers. But with a Yoder, they've got the removable door. It is an upgrade. It does not come with a Yoder, which I personally think is a little bit weird. I mean, why not? It's going to cook and perform way better with that upgraded diffuser panel, but that's how they do things. So it's a $170 add-on, but it's got a door in there. It helps with cleaning, and if you get the grill grates, which I highly recommend, you can now sear directly over fire and get a great sear. If you don't have those, I wouldn't own a pellet grill. I had one and took it back because I wasn't happy with it. I eat a lot of steak, I like some burgers, and I like sear on my meat. If I was just going to use it as a smoker and cooking chicken, stuff like that, I really wouldn't care. But if you're, a red meat eater where you're going to have some char and stuff like that, you definitely want to have some of the upgrades that the Yoder has. Now, to level it out, what I'm going to do here is, this one I'm going to put over on the top shelf. We're not going to have anything on it, but I am going to add a little bit of smoke. Right, this has got smoke. I'm giving you the upgrade of having the grill grates and that add-on. So I'm going to add a little smoke just to try and even it out, because anyone who has a gas grill can do this. This is an amazing smoking tube. I took pellets right out of this hopper, so we're using the identical fuel. And this guy, all you do is you light it up with a torch, and then it starts to smoke. All right, so you just want to get the pellets going. Once you get a bunch of them going, they're just going to smolder and they'll add some smoke. This is a great add-on if you only have a gas grill. In my twice baked potato video, I smoked an onion using this, and this is great. I think they're like 25 bucks. Links will be in the description. I highly recommend you have one. Even on something like a pellet grill, if you want to do a cold smoke with a Yoder, you can just turn it on and the fan will circulate air, and you can use this to cold smoke things in it. Or if you're just trying to get some extra smoke, you can use one of these. So to try and be as fair as possible, I'm not going to put that directly underneath the steak. Normally if I was trying to smoke something and get a bunch of flavor into it, I put it right under. I'm just going to leave it in there so it fills the chamber a little bit. That way we're keeping things kind of even here. And we're just going to put that in the front. So I'm more of a medium rare kind of guy, not really big into rare steaks, so I usually go up a little higher. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a reverse sear. I'm going to cook these to 125. I'm going to use my ThermaPen over here, and I'm going to use the built-in thermometer on the Yoder to keep them even. So let's put this guy on. And we'll put this guy on. Put that right in the middle. Now, very important, put your probe right in the middle of your meat. That way you get the most accurate temperatures. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the temperature on my phone so I know when that's 125. ThermaPen's already set at 125. This is actually the ThermaPen, or I think they call this the Smoke X. It's right there, Smoke X4. So this has got 4 probes on it. I've used it in other videos, but you've got, the top one is pit temperature if you want, and then you've got 3 other sections for meat. So this range, this range is amazing on this thing. All right, I had to smoke the original one, and it's only the 2-channel one, And you know, my house is stucco on the outside. My basement is right there, but you know, going across my basement, working on my computer downstairs, I would lose readings on this all the time. So I decided to buy the Smoke X, and it's amazing. It works all in my house. In fact, last week I was cooking some steaks, doing a reverse sear, and they were big ones, so I had some time to kill. So I went over, I talked to my neighbor. I brought this with me, and I sat in his garage, which you go our house, which there's like a 50-foot gap, and then there's his house, and his garage is on the very end of it. I was able to sit in his garage, have a beer with him, and still get my temperature. So if you have a range issue and you know you want a solution for that, the Smoke X works awesome for that. Highly recommended on there. Anyhow, we're gonna let these cook. I'll see you when they're done. The gas one's done first. We're gonna pull that off. Unfortunately, I had a little issue and I'm cooking a little longer than I really wanted. So it's 133. If I can get that in the camera over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook this one to 133 as well. That way we're doing apples to apples. The gas grill, what I had to do is I actually turned off this one burner. It was going up to close to 350. It's a gas grill. It's really hard to set it at 300 and lock it in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dial up my sear burner, and we'll wait for this one to finish. It's at 112, so it's almost there. I'll use the Thermopen to get up to 133, and I'll see you in a few. All right, this guy's reading 133. We will pull it off as well. I'll separate them so we know which is which. Based on color, it's pretty easy to see which is which. This has got some red to it here. We're 134. Close enough. Like I said, this is not scientific or whatever, but right away you can see there's some different color differences. This sat in the smoke a little bit, so we got some more color to it. Now we're gonna let them rest. Now obviously the one that just came off, it's not gonna have as much time to rest as the other, but as long as you get 10 or 15 minutes, I think you're okay. I'm gonna dial this guy up all the way to 600, and I'm gonna pull out the middle plate. All right, so now we've got the grill grates on there. It's cranked up to 600. We just gotta let it come up to temperature, and we'll go from there. So in the interest of fairness, we're gonna start with the one that came off first. We're gonna let these sear 2 minutes aside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 1 minute, I'm gonna turn it, do another minute, turn it. We'll do the same thing, 2 minutes per side on each side. As you can see, some beautiful color. It's hot. We'll let it rest and we'll get over to the other one. Let's do the Yoder. Same thing, 1 minute aside, or 1 minute before we turn it. All right, let's get this guy off. Got some good grill marks there, both sides. We'll give them a sec just to cool down. Now the great thing about it when you do this method, we'll turn this guy off, is you don't have to let these rest very long. You almost don't have to let them rest at all. You let them rest after you did the reverse sear part, but I'm just gonna let them rest for a little bit just because the first one rested for a couple minutes before I got this one off. We gave him 5 minutes just to kind of be equal, so to speak. Let me take these guys off the rack. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. The thermometer in the Yoder and my Smoke X were slightly different than my Thermapen. So my Thermapen is only a year old, so I'm hoping my Thermapen is not off, but there is a chance these steaks might be overcooked. But if they're overcooked at the same amount. So let's cut into them. I'm gonna go right to the center. Some red there. No, they're slightly different. Not going to be a fair comparison, but I think for the purpose of this, we're going to be close enough. They're definitely both a little overcooked. I think my one Thermapen is not accurate. There's the Yoder. Flies are loving steak. Pull these back. I mean, obviously the gas grill, it's a little overcooked for my target, but we'll see what happens. Let's try that one first. That's a good flavor. I would not be unhappy if I went to a steak restaurant and got that. This one wins right out of the gate. Now, obviously this one's cooked a little closer to what my target was. It's juicier. Listen, folks, if you're cooking your steak medium well, just take it back to medium or something. Do yourself a favor because, yeah, it's a little pinker, but the flavor and it's so much better and it's a lot juicier. But even for a little bit overcooked, you can get a lot more smoke in that. It's a little bit more different flavor to it. I mean, in all honesty, they're both very, very good. This one gets the edge. It just has more smoke, a little bit more flavor into it. It's got some of that wood flavor. You know, I probably could have taken my smoker and pushed it, or my little mating smoke tube and pushed it right into the smoke and got some more smoke into the meat. But when you look at the color, this has got some red on the outside. This didn't get any of that all. You know, when it's on the top shelf here on the Yoder, it's getting wood fire over it the entire time. So you're gonna see some color. That color is flavor. So, you know, in this experiment, I'd say this guy won. And again, if you don't have a Yoder and you don't have those grill grates and you can get that direct fire to get that sear, then you got a problem. But the Yoder with that sear is the whole reason I switched to a Yoder. That's pretty darn good. That's all I got for you today. If you liked the video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, click that notification bell for future videos. Try and release videos every single Saturday. And if you've got something that you want to see done in the future, please leave it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Talk to you soon.